Question number 3 on Schoology says the following points vary directly. We can also say the points are directly proportional. Find the missing coordinate. Now this one is given to us in points, which is actually going to be a little bit easier for me to show you, but sometimes they actually list out, and I'll read that to you in a separate way so that you can see how you're going to see it in the next two questions. Alright, so whenever we have a point, the very first thing is to remember that points are always x, y, and it's a really good idea to go ahead and write yourself notes about that, where you put x and y underneath your coordinates. And what I want to also do is I also want to put these in a t-chart, an xy table, so that we can kind of see what's going on. So in our first point right here that I'm circling in this lovely purple color, we have 1 for the x, and we don't know what's in that y spot. Now I'm going to pick another color here, this lovely orange, and in my x column I'm going to put a 2, and in my y column I'm going to put a 14. Now there are several different ways to set up a proportion, but I feel like this way is most consistent, and this also reviews XY charts and also points on a coordinate, so I'm doing it this way. Now what we can do is we can now make a proportion. You guys did this a lot in 8th grade. I'm going to turn these, and it's almost like I'm going to separate it out like this into fractions and put an equal sign in the middle. So in my t-chart it's going to kind of just look like this. And whenever you solve a proportion, you multiply the diagonal that has both of the numbers, and then you divide by the leftover. And some of you might have been introduced to proportions as bat and ball, because this is a terrible looking bat and ball. But there it is. Also, to make sure that they're equal, you can also approach it from, some teachers like to say butterfly, right? What number goes in that question mark spot to make it equal on both of our diagonals. So I'm going to go back over to bat and ball. Right here, if I multiply my diagonal, 1 times 14, that is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So my question mark is going to equal 7. Now if you go back over here and you do the butterfly way, this diagonal over here is a 14. 2 times what on this other diagonal is going to give you a 14, and good news is it's the same thing, so our question mark is still 7. So that's 2 different ways to do this, depending on how your 8th grade teacher told you. Maybe butterfly and maybe bat and ball. Both of these things are on your supplemental aid chart. In the following question, number 4, it's going to be slightly different. 4 and 5 give you numbers, but it's not in a point. So I'm going to just go ahead and give you a little sneak peek. It says if y is equal to -9 when x is equal to 3. That's telling you that those go together. So that's going to be your point. And you can put them in your t-chart. Your y value would go in your y column, your x value would go in your x column. And then your next number, x, would go in your x column, and we don't know what the y is that would go next to it. Okay? And directly proportional, again, tells you that you're going to do either bat and ball, so bat and ball, or you're going to do that butterfly. And you're going to do those on your own. That was Schoology, question number